We come now to verse 20 of the 8th chapter of the Gospel of John. John has been narrating for us a conversation between Jesus and the religious leaders, which is taking place in something of a public setting. And you can feel the rising tension. Jesus makes these claims concerning himself. The religious leaders are indicating that he doesn't have sufficient independent corroboration of his testimony, and especially these extravagant claims that he appears to be making. Jesus, of course, reasserts that it's his Father who attests to his identity, and he, along with Jesus' own testimony, is sufficient to meet the technical standards that they are asserting against him. And now John throws in a little bit of a kind of a narrator's remark here, giving us some idea where all of this is happening, as he tells us tauta. This is the demonstrative pronoun. It's the neuter, plural nominative, so these things, and then ta, the neuter article, horemata. So these, the words, literally, or these words, elalesen, from laleo, I speak. This is the third person singular, aorist active indicative of this contract verb. So these words he spoke, referring to Jesus, in, the preposition takes the dative, to godzo fu lakeo. This word actually means the treasury. It's something like the temple treasury. Most have suspected that what's being described here is the court of the women, which had 13 trumpet-shaped receptacles in which people could make various contributions depending on what they intended the contribution to be used for. So it's a fairly public place. You can expect that there was quite a bit of traffic back and forth, and that this conversation that's going on between Jesus and the leaders was certainly being witnessed by people who were standing around and noticing the nature of the discourse. So these things, these words he spoke in the temple treasury, didaskon. This is from didasko, I teach. This is the present active participle, masculine singular nominative, referring to Jesus speaking as he was speaking in, again the same preposition as here, in to. Again, this is the dative singular article, hiero, in the temple, referring to the outer precincts of the temple. So one of the major courts of the temple, presumably the court of the women, is where this particular conversation is happening. And then John notes in passing kai, the connective, and oudes, the adjective, no one, epiasen. This is from piazzo. It means to take, usually in the sense of to arrest. Literally, it means to squeeze, but it has the idea of arresting someone, taking them into custody. And no one took him, auton, the object of that verb. No one seized him or took him or laid hands on him. Hoti, conjunction, means because, not yet. Upo. Alleluthe. Alleluthe is from erkamai, to come or to go. This is the third person singular, pluperfect active indicative, so usually you incorporate the word had into the English translation. So because not yet had it come, namely he hora, the hour, autu, of him. John is, of course, indicating to us that it seemed there was plenty of opportunity for Jesus to be apprehended, for Jesus to be arrested, but no one laid hands on him precisely because the time had not yet come, appealing in some sense or other to divine providence and divine sovereignty, which is going to prevent people from prematurely attempting to bring about the final execution of Jesus. The hour had to come, but it hadn't come yet. And so even though these words, which are sufficient to provoke a certain degree of hostility, are being said in a public setting, nevertheless, Jesus is not being taken, he's not being brought into custody, and that, of course, reflects the fact that his purpose was not yet quite accomplished. He still had to do more things, say more things, before that hour would finally come.